With Churchill's much vaunted advance up the leg of Italy brought to an abrupt halt at the fortified Gustav Line, Allied commanders quickly began looking for a way to break the deadlock.
The Anzio landings were conceived by General Alexander in Italy as being a way of breaking the stalemate at Monte Cassino. The plans were enthusiastically seized upon by Churchill as being a masterstroke to cut off the retreat of all the German army units south of the landings.
A single division would land on the Italian west coast, behind the Gustav Line, compelling the Germans to withdraw troops from the areas around Cassino to protect their rear, and therefore open the way for the Allied advance to the Italian capital. The location chosen was an area surrounding the resort town of Anzio, just 30 miles south of Rome.
Initially, it was conceived as a one-division operation, then it turned into a two-division assault designed to trap all the German divisions to the south. And of course, there were half a dozen German divisions at least, and the two divisions were never going to be enough.
On the first day, everything went incredibly smoothly. Anzio itself had been abandoned by the Germans, and by the end of the day, 36,000 troops and 3,200 vehicles had been delivered ashore.
The Germans were completely surprised. I mean, on day one, there was virtually no opposition. There was a little bit, but nothing significant at all. But what, of course, the Germans did do was they reacted very quickly and very effectively and shifted troops to contain the landing within a matter of days.
On that first day, a U.S. reconnaissance patrol traveled inland and reported back to the officer commanding the operation on the ground, U.S. Major General John Lucas, that the way ahead to the objective was clear. But having already complained that his men were not sufficiently trained, and with the words of his direct U.S. superior, the Fifth Army Commander General Mark Clark, that the Alban Hills were too far away, ringing in his ears, Lucas chose to ignore his overall commander, the British General Alexander Hamilton, and instead dug in and waited for an enemy attack. And he didn't have to wait long.
Within 3 days, there were several German divisions blocking all the exit routes from the landing site. And these only built up in number very quickly. So, in effect, the Germans, although caught by surprise, reacted very effectively. So there was absolutely no way the landing troops were ever going to break out of Anzio by direct assault.
When Lucas did attempt to advance on the 25th of January, he quickly discovered he was surrounded. Immediately, Clark rushed 2 more divisions to the beachhead, and within just a week of the landings, 61,000 Allies faced a heavily armored German force of 70,000. And just as it was at Monte Cassino, the geography refused to cooperate. Anzio was surrounded by low-lying marshland, and the waterlogged soil saw trenches filled with water as soon as they were dug. German artillery, including the monstrous 80mm Krupp K5, a railway gun the Allies nicknamed Anzio Annie, pounded an Allied beachhead almost devoid of cover. What followed was 4 months of intense fighting, with neither side making any headway. Relief finally came on the 25th of May.
Where the breakthrough came was in coordination with Operation Diadem, which was a massive attack on the Gustav Line, which was only just to the south of where Anzio was. The Germans were ultimately forced to retreat from the Gustav Line, and when they did, it opened up the Anzio front, and the Anzio forces were able to break through.
Rather than achieve its objective, the only positive outcome of the siege came to light after the war. After Anzio, 5 veteran German divisions were held back in Italy as a precaution. Divisions which they had planned to send to Northwest Europe. 40,000 men that would not be in place to resist where they would be needed most. Normandy.